Hey everybody, just wanted to make a follow-up video to the one I did the other night regarding World War III, Nibiru, all that. I'm not going to talk anything about Nibiru, mostly about what's going on in the Middle East right now, as well as, warnings from the mainstream media that are coming in here regarding ISIS attacks and as well as over Europe, and just the escalation that's happening over in Syria with regards to Saudi Arabia and Turkey. None of this is hitting the mainstream whatsoever. RT News is obviously talking about it, the Russian-based news program, but Fox, CNN, all the bullshit alphabet mainstream media agencies are not talking about this, and everyone's just so distracted with other crap between Oregon and the elections and the weather and blah 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 blah. So I'm just going to get into a few articles that came out in the past day or two, just as a follow-up. This one right here is, to me, the most concerning article that's come out. It says, military maneuver plan in Saudi Arabia. This is from Press TV. Basically goes on to say that thousands of soldiers from regional countries are set to participate in a military maneuver in Saudi Arabia. Saudi media said some 350,000 forces from the Persian Gulf Arab states and a number of other countries will take part in the Saudi-led military maneuver in the area of Hafar al-Batn in northern Saudi Arabia. Some 2,540 warplanes, 20,000 tanks, 460 helicopters will participate in the exercise dubbed North Thunder, quote-unquote. In the 18 days of maneuvers, the airspace over northern Saudi Arabia will be closed. Media reports say the maneuver will be the largest throughout history in the region. Egypt, Sudan, Pakistan, Persian Gulf, Arab states are among the 25 countries that will partake in the military exercises. And basically, they're saying this is the largest ever. They've never done anything like this. This is unprecedented. And they're calling this basically an exercise. This is an invasion force right here. And if people can't see that, then they're idiots. If this was an exercise, maybe it would be a couple thousand troops, a little bit of hardware here and there. You just read the numbers. I'll leave the link to all these articles so you can see the numbers for yourself. But when you've got 350,000 ground troops and 2,500 fighter jets, 20,000 tanks, and 400, almost 500 helicopters, yeah, you're not training for an exercise. This is basically the precursor for the invasion of Syria between U.S. Coalition, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. Poland has said they're now going to join the fight. NATO has said they're going to up their forces in Syria. This is basically the start of World War III. I'm not trying to fearmonger. This is what the planning, all the training has been happening for the past year or so. Between NATO, Russia, there's been unprecedented training. They've been getting ready for this, and now they're about to pull the trigger. So a few other articles here. Turkish military shells Kurdish targets in northern Syria. So the Turks are already starting to basically launch some shells over into Syria to fight the Kurds. Let's see. Saudi jets to fly missions in Syria from Turkish base. So they've already Saudi Arabia's already have their troops and their jets at the Turkish base, and they're basically getting ready to fly missions over Syria without permission from Assad, basically illegally. So another thing that people are talking about, obviously, but is still on my radar, is North Korea. South Korea pulled out of their industrial zone, shut off their electricity, shut down a plant over there, and North Korea is saying it's a declaration of war. And this whole thing with the U.S. just basically put their Patriot missiles over in South Korea. We've got the satellite that was launched last week. They could be holding an EMP nuke. That basically, Ted Cruz came out during the debates last week, saying just out of the blue about the dangers of North Korean EMP attack on the eastern coast, wiping out the electric grids. This came out from WND News expert, North Korea prepping EMP attack on the U.S. From SHTF plan, this guy makes an interesting... I mean, I'm not saying this is going to happen this week or next week, but the satellite was named after his father. It was called the Morning Star or Bright Star. I forget, it's somewhere in here. I forget what it's called. But Kim Jong-un's father's birthday, I guess, is on the 16th, I believe. And this guy's saying, you know, what better present is there for Kim Jong-un to give his father than an EMP over the United States, especially when the satellite was actually named after him. So I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that an EMP is going to happen, but we never know. We have to keep our eyes open. Anything can happen at this point. North Korea has always been the wild card. And just the warnings that are coming out from Ted Cruz and everybody else, and the fact that this satellite passes over us, you know, a whole bunch of times during the day. It even passed over at the end of the Super Bowl last week. Luckily, nothing happened. But and if you guys are familiar with Ed Dames, he's a remote viewer. He used to work for the government. He does workshops where basically it's sort of like remote viewing is basically sort of gathering information that's out there and in a sense predicting the future. You know, that's oversimplifying it, but he's predicted Fukushima and a whole bunch of other things, and he's always talked about, this is from 2 years ago, he's talking about how North Korea would strike the Korean Peninsula with a nuclear attack out of anger, and now everything that's happening now between South Korea and the sanctions from the U.S., you know, that just might be the case. They're looking for any way to start this war. There's going to be an attack here. I think first, I'd be surprised if World War III starts without any sort of attack in Europe or the U.S. Otherwise, we need justification to invade Syria and get rid of quote unquote ISIS. But in fact, you know, they're all trying to get rid of Assad and take over Syria. The foreign minister of Saudi Arabia even came out and is on record now saying that he's admitting that, you know, they want to get rid of Assad. And obviously Saudi Arabia is an ally of the United States. So Clapper came out. ISIS is going to attempt U.S. attacks this year. You know, when this comes out on Fox News, you got to take this as a warning and basically, you know, as gospel almost that it's going to happen, because they're saying in Europe as well. Europe, terror warning, another ISIS attack will happen, warns the French foreign minister. So these are all warnings. They're basically, in my opinion, going to set off, you know, possibly suitcase nukes, some sort of biological, chemical attacks, false flags, which will, you know, basically lock down the country and give them justification and reason to invade Syria and get this war cooking. So the last thing here I just thought was kind of funny. Valentine's Day will be the end of the world, according to Ghostbusters 2, saying, you know, an alien told her the end of the world would happen. We all know that they like to do predictive programming and what have you. I'm sure the world won't end tomorrow, but who knows? There might be a kicking off point tomorrow that might start the reset. So anyway, that's all I got. I'll keep you guys posted if more stuff comes in. I'm going to continue to make videos because things are just escalating like crazy. So I'm going out to get as much water as I can right now and food, and I'm gonna basically tell you guys to do the same thing. Better safe than sorry. So go get prepared, man. That's the best you can do, and try to wake up your friends and family to the same. You know, show them these articles and these videos that are out there, and wake them up. All right, guys, take care. Good luck.